in my mind's eye. So this new earth angel, and I'm talking about us using our words as if we know that they have power. And they do. They have they have power in the way that we can speak into existence the things that we want to experience. And going into this new year, it's time for us to use our words in a way that it changes situations that we see around us. So if we see something that, you know, that disturbs us or grabs our attention and, has us thinking or, looking into it, that's because it's something for us to do. It That's because there's, and not necessarily in a physical sense, but the fact that you see it or you can see patterns of injustice or or things that just need to be addressed. Everybody don't see it, and the fact that you see it is because you are the conduit for those around you, where you can speak on a situation and it change, not just for you but for those around you. So if you one who, you know, like me, who is not big on watching the news and taking in a lot of social media or listening to a lot of politics or religious rhetoric, then, you know, uh, when you do hear something that stands out, that grabs your attention, you know, um, that it's worth you uh, allowing a message to be revealed to you about what that situation is. Um, because a lot of stuff is just for the sake of distraction, repeating the same stories over and over again, trying to incite, fear or hate or anger amongst people. That's to keep us separated, keep us divided, keep us distracted. But this is a time where it doesn't matter what you look like, where you came from, any of that. It doesn't matter what kind of religion you studied or any of that. Because religion is crumbling. It's not about religion. It's not about religion. It's about love. That's universal. Everybody understands that. Everybody understands love. People are fighting wars and they don't even understand why. But love is universal. Even people who haven't experienced love, they know about love. Even if they say they don't believe in love, they done heard about love. And so that's that's the religion, love. If there's a religion for anybody to be a part of, it's unconditional love. That's what that is. And and what would that look like if we all had unconditional love for one another? And we can't have unconditional love for one another until we have it for ourselves. And in order to have it for ourselves, we got to take time to look at ourselves. So going back to getting that pen and paper and writing down, you can write down all the things that you've gone through. And once you see them, that's your confidence right there. That's your faith right there. That's your strength right there, because you can look at each one of those and see how in your darkest hours you was protected, you was guided, you had the right answers at the right time, and you overcame that situation. And you can look at each one of those and see that. And once you can do that, you're like, man, I really have been protected. You know what? I remember I when such and such happened, I told myself such and such. And guess what? I told myself that, if I ever got out of this situation, I was going to clean myself up, and I was going to, uh, get me a job, or, get my own place. And now I have my own place, and it got my degree. See, sometimes we're moving so fast, we don't even give ourselves time to look back and reflect on what we've been through. And to see those times when, there were really people sent, you know, to assist us in our times of need. And sometimes, when you're you're mad and you're bitter and you're going through things, it's easy to say, ain't nobody here for me. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody here. I had to do it all by myself. When in all actuality, the truth is that the people that you thought was gonna be there wasn't there. The people that you wanted to be wasn't there. But what happened? God sent somebody else. God sent somebody else. And if God can send somebody else, then that means you didn't need that other person. So it ain't no need to keep holding on to the fact that they weren't there. It wasn't necessary for them to be there. Because guess what? You made it through that situation without them. That's another illusion that we have, is that we need certain people in order for things to turn out right in our lives. Truth be told, we each came in this world on our own. We each came in here on our own. And you came here fully equipped for the mission with what you got. Now, you already have everything you needed. It's just a matter of cultivating it. That's it. And the best way, for you to, you know, cultivate is to be around like-minded people. Other people who are striving to be the best version of themselves. Not just listening to people yak their doggone jaws. Just telling you any old mess that they think you want to hear. We have to get to a point where we are trying a spirit, where we're actually looking at people and listening to what they're saying, and then watching to see if their actions marry up. And it's not in no uh, judgmental kind of way. It's really done in the spirit. So take this outer body, disregard all of that physical, and think about the fact that we're spirit beings. So we should be encountering one another first in a spiritual manner. And that's how you're going to know who's who. Because although, you know, we're connected to the same source, we're at different stages in our development, in our growth, in our maturity, in our commitment to excellence, in our commitment to our divine mission and purpose. So because we're on different various levels, um, some people you won't be able to, go certain places with, you know, because they're not capable of traveling the routes that you must traverse. And where you're going, you can't afford to be doing the fireman's carry going uphill. This person need to be able to walk for themselves. On this leg of the journey where we're going, where we're headed, you're gonna have to march it out. You're gonna have to step it out. Mm-hmm. And so, and part of that is going back to, in order to forgive ourselves, we must have, we must really look at our different situations and see our own contribution to the situation and see where you need to come up. Yeah, yeah, me, got to come up. Because if something didn't go the way you had planned, you must look at your contribution to at least see what you can do to make an improvement in that situation. And whether you want to resume, you know, that particular situation, I'm itching because I'm sleepy. So, yeah, going back, yeah, in order to forgive yourself, you have to know what you're forgiving yourself for. Meaning, you have to go back and look at the situation and admit to yourself, you know, where you missed the mark. And be willing to admit that. Admit it to yourself. See, sometimes people don't come back and apologize or admit that they was wrong because they haven't admitted it to themselves. Their ego is so fragile, they can't even admit to themselves that they was wrong. Now, how fragile is that? That that you can't even be honest with yourself? That you can't even tell your own self the truth? And this is not being judgmental. This is letting you see where a person is. So if you're going to move on with your life and be happy and speak good things over your life, you have to realize when another person is broken, when another person is in need of healing. Because for a person to lie to themselves, that tells you that something is going on with them. And if you're lying to yourself, you have to realize that that's a reflection of, you know, how fragile your ego is. And why it is, and have to ask yourself why it is I can't seem to admit when I'm wrong. We don't know everything. And sometimes we make decisions without all the facts. So it's okay to say that, hey, I was wrong if you was wrong. And apologize. And some people say, well, I don't feel the need to apologize. I guess it depends on what you care, how much you care about a relationship. If you know that it means something to that, you may not believe that you should apologize, or you don't expect anybody to apologize to you. But if the person you in relationship with and you clearly did something to offend them or hurt them in some kind of way, it's one that you've already, you know, uh, entered into a situation that calls for you to, you know, uh, question some actions. But then on top of that, to add insult to injury, the person don't want to apologize. So they know that they harmed you in some kind of way, but they don't want to apologize. You can't allow that to, if you're the person that's waiting on an apology, you can't wait on it. That's the lesson. Don't wait on it. Give yourself the closure that you need. You give yourself the closure you need by assessing the situation. And the situation is that you have sanity and you're able to look at the situation and realize that, hey, I can walk away from that. If I've, you know, identified my needs, I've expressed my needs and you disregard my needs, it's time for me to walk away. And guess what? When I walk away, it won't be to badmouth anybody or anything. It'll be because I want a new start and I want to meet new people. There's no need of me holding on or going round and round with someone who I've expressed my needs with. They clearly understand what my needs are. They intentionally do not want to meet my needs. There's no need to stick around. And then as I go out and have new experiences and meet new people, I can enjoy my life and allow that person to enjoy theirs. And we have to be okay with that. And if a person is not giving you reciprocal loving energy, or if you feel like you can't give that person, reciprocal loving energy, then it's time to walk away. It's time to walk away. Our time is precious. There's no need in wasting it. Wasting your time, wasting that person's time. And holding on to them for what? If you're not happy, you're afraid they're going to be happy with somebody else? The point is, they're not happy with you. And how can you be happy with somebody who ain't happy with you? So it's two miserable people here. And it's okay to accept the fact that things change. And does it hurt if a person wasn't honest with you enough to tell you that things have changed before they went out and started acting on those changes? Yes. Yes, it's painful. But here's the time where you can release it. Because sometimes people can't come and tell you the truth because they don't have the personal courage to. It's nothing has anything to do with you. It don't make them a bad person. But personal courage is something that people have to work at. Everybody don't just walk out the door with it. For one, they have to be bold and courageous enough to embrace their personal courage. You got to have some regular courage. If a person don't even have the courage to speak up for themselves or to stand in their own, beliefs, what kind of personal courage you think they gonna have to come to you and tell you the truth about anything that they think that you're not gonna agree with? See, we have to take these things in consideration when we go forth and deal with people, going forward. You know, how does this person communicate? You know, how do they go about, you know, um, taking care of business? You know, are they an honest person? Are they a loyal person? Did you meet this person based on their their physical appearance, or did you meet them in the spirit? So you don't have to go forth using the words that I don't trust people, I have a hard time meeting people, oh, all men this, all women that. Those are the words that I'm talking about. They have the power to give you exactly that. If you say that all men or all women are no good, those are the kind you're gonna get. It don't make it true. It just make it true for you. Because you're saying that that's what you know, that's what you encounter. So it gives you more of that to encounter. But if you would like to have a different experience, here's an opportunity to use your words to give you a different, outcome. Instead of saying all men are cheaters or all women are gold diggers, say, you know, um, you know, I give thanks in advance that I'm meeting kind, generous, loyal, protective, men who look out for women and who will look out for me and be polite and generous and courteous to me. I'm finding that everywhere I turn, I'm meeting gentlemen who would like to show me a good time and treat me nice.